right, great. So we've got Goshan here from the Gender Department at AUIS. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So she's trying to get into the Suli Forum as well, and it's really packed out here. Now, I've got a question for you. Now, you're part of the Gender Department here, and what is the Gender Department looking to do in terms of the dialogue here? Like, are you gonna ask them questions, and what sort of questions and solutions are you looking at getting out of this?
Well, as ever, we like to bring gender as a topic to the forefront of dialogue and discussion. So any opportunity we'll get, we'll probably try and bring up the issue of gender in the community. Ideally, what I would like from these sessions from the forum is to have a intellectual discussion about how gender issues can be tackled in a sort of systematic and prolonged way. So not just a single event or a month or two long projects, but actually something that will change the culture of our community towards a better equality in general and social justice.
Yeah, I mean, you say our culture, and I totally agree with you in terms of that. Like, a lot of people are talking about how we should bring in policies that will tackle gender inequality, and how the government should help the fact that there are much less people in positions of power to speak on the panel like we have today. I mean, would you say it's more of a cultural issue, or is it more of a policy issue? Or do they go hand in hand?
I think it's both. I think you can't have policy unless you have what's the word for it? Actual implementation of policy, right? Which is related to culture.
Right.
So I think if you want to have a real difference in communities, you have to have policy because you have to have the legality behind it, but also you have to have a culture among the population that respects the policy and implements it.
Right.
And you have to have measures in place to ensure that happens.
Which ones do you start with, do you think? Do you think you start with the cultural change, or do you start with saying, hey, this is how you're supposed to do it? Like, and I'm being the government here, right?
Well, okay. The government can be much nicer than that, I'm sure. I think that's this age-old chicken and egg story. Honestly, start somewhere. So it's I think a bit lazy to sort of say, oh well, if that's not ready, we can't change culture. If culture's not ready, we can't change policy. I think if you start somewhere and then work around that, you can't have change overnight. It's very incremental, and you have to expect that it will take a very long time to reach the goals that you need to, because it is related to culture.
Of course.
But celebrate them. Even the minuscule milestones, and you'll get somewhere eventually, hopefully.
Totally agree.
Mm-hmm. So what are you looking forward to? Which part are you looking mostly forward to in the Suli Forum?
Well, on a personal level, I think it's a great platform to be aware of the most current discussions around policy and politics. So for me, it's almost like a sort of a place where I can come to get all the information at once. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to listening to and possibly partaking in some of the discussions around particularly gender issues and the future of the region, frankly.
Okay, great. It was great talking to you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And when are you going to come on the Highly OK podcast?
Happily. Invite me and
really?
I'll have to come. Yes.
Yes, we've got another guest, everyone. Highly OK podcast.
Okay,
Thank you so much for joining us.